So let's go through my 7 most advanced tips in Rise of Kingdoms. The first one is to only heal your hospital on a fight day when it's actually full. I see so many players making this mistake of not healing their hospital when it's full on a KVK day. Usually on a KVK fight, you have around 700,000 hospital capacity, and I see so many people heal the hospital at like 80-90k and just waste their helps. You only get 1000 alliance helps per day. It doesn't actually tell you, does it? You only get 1000 alliance helps for healing per day. So that's 33 full hospitals you can heal. If you heal, let's say 100k every single time, 33 times, that is 3.3 million units you can heal with helps. And after that, you get 0 helps and your healing time gets reduced by 0. And with 30 helps, your healing time gets reduced approximately by 25%. So you spend 25% more speed ups than you should. But if you wait and you have a 700k hospital capacity and you wait until your hospital is at like 600k and then you heal your hospital, with 33 helps you can now almost heal 20 million units with your helps. And that's a difference of 16 million units you healed more with helps than if you don't wait until your hospital is full. Now the second tip I can give you is not just to barb chain. Everybody knows they should be barb chaining, but many people barb chain wrong and they use commanders that don't reduce action points as a primary. For example, a lot of people use Richard as a primary, and I can understand why. He is very tanky, he has a very tanky tree, so when you use him primary and you don't have the optimal gear and armaments, your march can survive more. But chaining with a primary commander that reduces action points, you can see all my primary commanders reduce AP that I use for chaining, and for QSH and Zuge, which I use on field, I just reset their talents when I'm fighting and then I reset them back after the fight. And this helps me save a ton of action points. Going from 70 it costs you without AP reduction to 60 it costs you with. Saves you almost 15% in action points. So that's simply just 15% of free rewards you're throwing away by not using a primary commander that reduces AP. Next tip I can give you is to save all your materials, all your armament upgrade chests, all your transportation stones, all your reset crystals, and all your gold heads for the last day before fighting. I have to say, I am guilty of not doing this, but if we talk about this from a logical standpoint, then you really should be doing it. If I transmit, for example, this striker right here, which is a decent inscription, and I try to get better stats, and my fight is, let's say, 2 weeks away before my first fight, in those 2 weeks, I might get a double inscription with striker and let's say vitality, which gives health, that is actually better to spend my transportation stones on than the striker. So what I'm actually doing, if I invest in this and I get a better one before the fight, I'm just throwing stones away. So you should realistically always wait before the fight with all your upgrades, and then you should upgrade everything at once before the fight, like 1 to 2 days before the fight. So you have the best stuff available and you can make the best choices. Now this is very hard to do to save your stuff. I know, because I usually spend everything I get immediately and I never wait. But I'm gonna try to better myself for the next year, and I'm gonna wait until the next fight, which is in 4 days actually. So I'm gonna wait 3 more days, and then after 3 days I'm gonna open them all and hopefully I get something better. But after that, of course, I will wait for the next fight again. Now the next tip I have is that you can tell what type of gear and inscription somebody has just from the report. So if you click on troop buffs with any report, it doesn't have to be against a Barbarian, but then you could see the stats of the other person as well. But I'm just going to show you with my stats. First, you can of course see the commander skills, the relics, the support skills, and all unit stats. You probably all know this. But if we look at the troop base stats, we can tell what type of gear and how many crits this person has. A full set with full crits is going to show 8, 8, 16. And if I go into my cast set that's on double C right now, you can see I have 4 iconic pieces and 3 crits. And 1 iconic piece, Instant of Conquest, gives you +3. So this is +3, +3, +3. And the reason why I have 8 and 7 is because I have 3 crits. So what you can see from this report is that if it said 6 and 9, for example, I would have 3 pieces that give me health, uncrit, and 2 pieces that give me defense, uncrit. But because I have 7, you can say that 3 + 3 + 1 equals 7. So I have 2 defense pieces with an iconic crystal and 1 of them is crit. And for the health, I have 2 pieces with an iconic crystal and 2 of them are crit. Looking at a different report from this QSH, you can see that on my QSH with archers, My cavalry base defense is +4 and my base health for calves is +11. So what this tells me is that this person, or I myself, have leadership gear because it buffs every single troop type. It buffs the base stats for every single troop type. You can confirm this by going into QSH. You can see that I have leadership gear, which buffs the defense and the health. And I also have an accessory with an iconic, which also buffs all troop health. And all accessories buff all troop health. And apart from which gear and how many iconics and talents the person is running, you can also tell which type of armaments the person has. And you can see this by this line right here, skill damage boost. Now this only comes from the armaments I run, and it's 11%, because again I can show you on my QSH. I have this hunter with a 5% skill damage boost, I have this boiling blood for 2%, and this focus fire with a 4% skill damage boost, which totals 11%. So this 11% skill damage boost does not only reveal which type of inscriptors I have, but also which formation I'm running. So you know from this number, 11% skill damage boost, that I'm running wedge formation with those 3 inscriptions guaranteed. And then from something like this 3% range skill damage, you can see right here, range skill damage plus 3%. This comes from the talents, and it's this talent right here, Tactical Mastery. This commander's troop deals 3% more skill damage of all types, which is normal skill damage and range skill damage. And Heraldic Shields lets you take 6% less skill damage. And then if we go back into the report, you can see that I also have a range skill damage reduction of 6%. So these can also tell you the type of talents a person is running. So these reports are very telling, and also the enemy defense ignored and enemy health ignored also show you that I have iconic 2-tiered equipment, because this iconic 2-tiered equipment has enemy defense ignored and enemy health ignored. So from these reports, just from the troop buff section, you can read a lot of things that the enemy or you yourself have as gear. Now my 6th advanced tip has to do with fighting. And I notice for me and a lot of other people, when you have the game open for like 24 hours at a time, your game gets very laggy. And this even starts after like 6 to 8 hours. And how you can combat this lag is actually very simple and kind of stupid. You can just refresh your game and then it doesn't lag anymore. I don't know why the game is coded this way, but when I fight in a KVK for like 8 hours at a time, my game gets super laggy, and just one time closing the game and opening it again removes all the lag and the game is fine again. For another 8 hours or so, and then I have to refresh it again. And here I can also show you my last and 7th tip, and that is to watch other players. Watch what other players do, seek advice from content creators or Discord or forums or wherever. Just communicate and spectate people, because you can learn a lot of stuff from other people and how they play the game. So that's it with the video of my most advanced Rise of Kingdoms tips. If you get value from the video, please make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye.